for joining us with your CIGTV News Update, Community News and Weather Forecast. I'm April Cummings in for Donna Bush. The Cayman National Cultural Foundation this week recognized 7 people for outstanding contributions to the local cultural sector. Anne Laurel Walton, Conroy Ebanks, Deborah Barnes-Tabora, George Jones, Isaac Rankin, Philip Smith, and Ray Banker will all be honored at the annual Arts and Culture Award ceremony next week. Presentations will also be made to outstanding volunteers, sponsor of the year, and the recipient of the Chairman's Award for long-term support of CNCF's work. Culture Minister Dwayne Seymour had high praise for the recipients.
I want to say to the awardees, it is my great pleasure to be here in the company of those of you who have attained the level of merit in their artistic discipline and contribute in very meaningful ways to the arts, culture, and heritage of the Cayman Islands. I pray each of you continue to keep your hand at this work, never forgetting how much it enhances our lives and breathes life into our cultural landscape.
Cultural and heritage organizations, as well as the general public, were asked to submit nominations for the CNCF Heritage Cross Awards. Arts organizations nominated individuals in their particular disciplines for the CNCF Star for Creativity in the Arts. A CNCF-appointed committee ultimately chose the recipients. In other news, members of a South Sound community are enjoying recent enhancements to a government-owned property in their area. Last year, government acquired a site with a pond in the Bel Air development in South Sound, which members of the community had for years been using for nature walks and similar activities. Recently, the Public Works Department and Recreation, Parks, and Cemetery Service completed some upgrades to the property that have garnered enthusiastic reviews from members of the public.
Back in December of 2018, I invited government to consider purchasing this piece of property on Bel Air Drive. It's an area, it actually is about an acre of pond that is teeming with wildlife. There are ducks, hickadees, and all fish and all other sorts of wildlife that make it their home. And I thought it really would make a very nice nature park for the community of South Sound and for Georgetown, the electoral district of Georgetown East. So I persuaded them to go ahead and let's buy it. It was in a fairly rundown state. And so over the last 2 weeks, the Public Works Department and I think the Parks and Recreation Unit, they have taken some time to go down there and to clean up the place very nicely. They have re-fenced the front of it, and they've also placed some park benches so that the place can now be accessed by residents of the area and from around Georgetown and elsewhere as well, who would like to go in there in an afternoon with their children and just relax and enjoy the animals and the wildlife that's around there. As a young man, I used to take my children to that park quite often, and now I have my children taking their children to the park as well. So it's been around for about 40 years, and something I think will only enhance the community, particularly the Bel Air area, with something for people and the citizens there to enjoy. One thing I would like to do is just to extend an invitation to the residents of Georgetown East and the South Sound community to visit this park. As I said, I really want to try and would like to make it into a nature park, but I'm always open to suggestions and to ideas from the community. It does have a lot of potential, and I'd like to maximize the use of it and the enjoyment for the people in the area.
The internationally acclaimed GOUPER Moon research project moved to Cayman, BRAC, and Little Cayman this week. The annual project partners with the Department of Environment and the Reef Environmental Education Foundation. Now, during the first months of the year, teams survey populations of critically endangered Nassau grouper in Cayman Islands waters. Based on its research, the International Union for Conservation of Nature believes the Nassau grouper population has declined globally by more than 80% since 1980. The critically endangered designation indicates the species is facing an extremely high risk of extinction in the wild. Now making headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom, traffic woes, including speeding and parking. They're just a few of the matters being discussed at a series of community clinics hosted by the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service this week. Area Commander for the Eastern Districts, Inspector Fernando Soto, says the clinics provide an opportunity to localize the interaction between the public and the police. Our final segment today, the Cayman Compass looks at the recent growth in cruise tourism in the Sister Islands. Let's take a look.
Okay, can you tell me what's going on here today?
We have the Seabourn Sojourn in today. It is a cruise ship that's visiting Cayman BRAC between the hours of 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. We have about 425 passengers on board, and they will be enjoying Cayman BRAC. We have the craft vendors here on site. We also have some tours that are being offered for them, and we also have free complimentary items at the information booth, which is partnered between District Administration and the Department of Tourism to provide them with information while they're here visiting on the
Our first impression is wonderful, and we're just going to head to this beach here and relax a bit, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah. And did you realize there's less than 2,000 people here? No,
Yes.
no stoplights.
The captain told us this morning as we arrived.
Is this?
People were saying, "Where's the mall?" The Americans. And we're like, there is no mall, and it's New Year's Day, so it should be closed, shouldn't it?
Island.
She looks pretty beautiful. We're used to small islands ourselves. We quite like no crowds, not many people.
And what did you think about when you decided to come to the BRAC?
Well, we had to research. It was hard to find out a lot of information, but it sounded like there was beaches and snorkeling, and so we were happy.
We're excited to be here.
And you can go online to both Radio Cayman and the Cayman Compass for more daily community news headlines. Taking a look now at today's weather forecast for our area from the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, prepared by forecaster Carrie Forbes. We're looking at light northeasterly winds and slight to moderate seas through tonight, becoming moderate from Saturday morning as a high pressure system builds over the eastern U.S. Radar images are showing some isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving west. Saturday's forecast calls for fair to partly cloudy skies, the chance of showers at 20% with temperatures rising to the mid-80s. Winds will be out of the northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and we're expecting slight to moderate seas with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. We encourage you to go online to weather.gov.ky for the latest forecast, which you can also find on their Facebook page and on Weather Radio. Just dial in 107.9 FM. Don't forget you can also download the National Weather Service's app, CINWS, to have the latest weather information at your fingertips. That is the latest from us here at CIG Television. To see what's on our programming schedule, go online to gis.gov.ky and just click on the publications icon at the bottom of the page. If you missed any of today's news update, check out our stories on Facebook and our YouTube channel. I'm April Cummings in for Donna Bush. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great one.